Let me know when you're ready. Good morning and welcome to the August 24th regular meeting of the Bethlehem Industrial Development Agency. Our first order of business is call to order, roll call, and approval of the fact that we have a quorum here this morning. What I would like to do is call the names of all of our members, and we will welcome our 2 new members to the board. So I will go around the room and welcome Victor Franco.
Thank you.
Edward Barbieri. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dick Cotlow. Myself, Victoria Storrs, the chair. Dave Padera.
Hello. Morning.
Good morning. Noting that we have 4 members that have required 5 members. I recognize that we have a quorum this morning and open the meeting. So as I alluded to, we have 2 members, Victor Franco and Ted Barbieri, who were recently appointed by the town board. This is their first meeting and we're engaging in the process of getting them on board, training, talking about the IDA and our roles here for the town of Bethlehem. Because we have a lot of items on our agenda this morning, as chair, what I've proposed to do is slightly alter the order of business from the agenda. So we are going to table the approval of the minutes for the June 22nd meeting. I do note that these are published on the IDA's website. We will review and approve them along with the August 4th minutes at our next meeting in September. We will move the reports of committees, which is item number 4, a little bit further down on the agenda, along with communications and the updates on the Burke Crane and Flood Power projects. We will also table until September the review of our financial statements. We continue to be in good shape. Members do not all have the July 31 financial statements that we circulated, and we'll be able to talk about them in September. Coincide with the Finance Committee beginning the budget process for 2023. Therefore, we will move to item 7, new business. Item number 1, the administration and document retention proposal from the Hedgeman Law Firm. As we know, the Hedgeman Law Firm has been providing Kate as our executive director and counsel. With the resignation of Robin, who has served in an administrative capacity for several years, Kate has proposed to use her paralegal to provide these services. Finance Committee reviewed this and reviewed the proposal and recommends the full board adopt the proposal from Kate, which is in your packet. In order to do this, I would ask first for discussion from the members, and then for a motion to approve the contract and approve me as chair to enter into it. So are there any questions about the proposal for additional administrative services from the Hedgeman Law Firm? It's approximately $525 a month. Over the next 5 to 6 months, we would expect that to be a fairly small amount relative to our budget. Yes.
So contract looked great. I'm in favor of it. Does the authority's budget office really require us to have paper copies? That's I noticed that There was something about like copying paper files. So that was my only question, just mainly information, but I'm in favor of it. Just was curious since I'm new.
We have old documents that are paper only.
Okay.
Right, that's what it is. So
That's
they already
what it is.
exist.
Yeah, they already exist.
Yeah, but there's no inventory of what's there.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Or electronic version, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and some of them don't have an electronic version, and therefore I've had to create.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun, yes.
Yeah.
But majority of the files going forward will be electronic, and we have a cloud for that, so.
Great.
I just had one question. So obviously this would take effect immediately. When is there an expiration? Does this go in perpetuity or?
You both haven't had the opportunity. At the beginning of the year, the contract with the law firms was approved by the board.
Right.
This is an add-on.
Okay.
So I believe it was the executive director piece was 1 year with renewal. So
So it would go in conjunction.
just to the,
with that.
yes, this
Got
is
it.
an
Okay.
amendment to that.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Do we have a motion to? Do we have a second? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you. The motion passes to amend the contract with the Hedgeman Law Firm for the administrative and document retention service. Under new business, there is item number 2, resignations and appointments of agents and board members. As all of the board members are aware, since our last meeting, Tim Benicia resigned from the board after 7 years of outstanding service. He and I had talked a little bit about this, and he sent his resignation according to all of our regular procedures. And we wish him well in turning his volunteer activity in other directions after all of this service. And I want to be on the record thanking him for 7 years of outstanding service. Our other member, Chris Bubb, accepted a job well outside of this area. It's a tremendous professional opportunity for him and his family. So with a little bit less planning, but again, all of my good wishes. Chris stepped down from the board at the end of July. So again, Chris was with us since late last fall. It was a pleasure to have him on the board. And I will also express good wishes and thanks to him for his service. Now, at the same time that we're welcoming our 2 new members to the board this morning, we will also be asking the town to engage actively in the procedure to interview, select, and appoint 2 new members so that we come out with a full 7 before too much time goes by. We've tabled item number 3, the financial statements, and we'll pick that up in September. So we come to item number 4 on new business, the resolution to approve an economic development cooperation agreement with the Albany County IDA relating to the Plug Power project. And this is something that we've had various updates on. The Albany County IDA is handling the pilot and financial assistance package because a portion of the project, which is the technology part, is within the town of New Scotland. And so the county has stepped in. We've been an active partner with them, and they have proposed a fee splitting agreement with us. And that's been in front of you. So are there any questions about the fee splitting agreement? It's 25% of the fee that they are collecting and approximately $143,000. Have any questions from members? Great. Hearing no, you want another minute?
No.
Okay. Hearing no questions, I'll invite a resolution to approve entering into the fee splitting agreement for the plug power project?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you. The motion passes to enter into the fee splitting agreement with regard to the plug power project in Albany County. We also have a very similar agreement, and that we are asked to review and possibly vote on this morning, which is an economic development cooperation or fee splitter agreement, again, with the Albany County IDA with regard to their financial assistance for the Champlain Hudson pipeline, which is going through the entire county as it is bringing hydropower from Quebec down to New York City. A number of jurisdictions in Albany County will have this pipeline going through. Town board has been actively involved in looking at the land and taking care of all of those ramifications. The IDA's role is strictly limited to learning what is going on, what the Albany County IDA is doing, and entering into a fee splitting agreement, because as one of two IDAs in the county, the town of Bethlehem and the town of Guilderland, each might separately have requested an application and reviewed pilot or other financial assistance independently from Albany County. However, we were asked and agreed that since the project affects the entire county and goes through multiple jurisdictions, it would be most efficient for all of us to work cooperatively, offer the benefits through the county, and as IDAs who are foregoing our right, we have also been provided with the fee splitting agreement. Again, 25% of the overall fee, just about $156,000 once the project is closed. Do we have any questions about the fee splitting agreement? So we'll open for discussion about that agreement.
I have a number of questions.
Okay.
Sure.
So, and then we will ask whether or not the board is ready to vote and accept a motion if someone wishes to vote. So Dick, please go ahead.
Okay, the first one I think is the project cost only the cost in Albany County, or is that cost statewide? You know?
I can answer that, yes. The number on page
220 million?
is the portion in Albany County total.
Wow.
In Albany
They're
County.
making a gigantic commitment in the state.
Absolutely.
I applaud this. I mean, this is wonderful for both IDAs, both Guilderland and Bethlehem. Has Guilderland approved this yet? Do we know?
It's under its number of months. What we could do is assemble all those materials, forward them to, and then you could put this on your agenda for your next meeting with the assurance that there has been a local IDA review of those materials. And Ms. Hedgeman and perhaps myself also could give you a report on what the status of the matter is and what the terms of the documents are to satisfy your question.
From my perspective, that would be perfect because, you know, an item in the middle of an agenda that we just, you know, if we had an opportunity to review, if we cared to, I think that would be perfect.
And to be, I'm familiar with the timing of, sorry, excuse me, I'm familiar with the timing of the matter. Moving this from August to September would not impact.
So the check's not in the mail.
The check is not in the mail. The check won't occur until there's a financial close, and we're hoping for that for the fourth quarter. It might slip into the first quarter of 2023. So an August-September timeline is not significant for the project.
Okay, I mean, if people agree that's right.
I do think you did circulate the letter and the copy of the agreement itself. I seem to recall reviewing that.
There's no question we
Yeah.
circulated materials, and what we can do is assemble it. You and I can go over it in more detail.
Okay.
But again, that's just a suggestion for the board.
If that's what you'd like, I'm happy to do it.
I support that, especially as we're welcoming new members. I really want to give everyone the time to be familiar with this project before taking the vote. And thank you, Joe, for the information about the timeline. So I would propose then to table the vote on that fee splitting agreement for our September meeting. And we will make sure that we have time for discussion and questions prior to taking that vote again in September, and have all the documents circulated together to everyone's notice.
Thank you.
The next item under new business is the resolution to approve the executive director performance evaluation process. And Dave, you've been leading this through the governance committee. So what I would invite you to do is, to the extent you want to give an update report of the governance committee, please go
Sure.
ahead and then talk about the solution.
Okay. Under the Town of Bethlehem Industrial Development Agency responsibility of members, there is a provision that the governance committee is charged with overseeing management, the agency's management, including an annual review of the executive director's performance relative to the goals, policies, and procedures of the authority of the agency. Over the course of this year, we have, as a board, approved a performance evaluation instrument that lays out in broad terms the expectations of the board relative to the performance of the executive director. Has been approved. What we had not done up until this point was actually develop the process by which the board would conduct the evaluation. And what we're proposing today is a process by which the agency and through the board will, at the end of the year, evaluate the executive director's performance relative to the goals and the standards that were laid out at the beginning of the year. All board members who are on the board at the time of the evaluation, well, basically at the end of this fiscal year, would be asked to participate in that evaluation. The evaluation process is similar to what we as a board are required to do by the authority's budget office of our own. We're responsible for conducting a self-evaluation of the board itself, and whether we believe that as a board we are meeting our own obligations and all the requirements of the law that we are obligated to meet. And this process would be very similar to that. In other words, at the end of the fiscal year, that we're proposing that each board member be allowed the opportunity to fill out an evaluation instrument rating the executive director. As chairman of the governance committee, I will collect those and present to the board the results of that evaluation with any recommendations might arise, any observations, any comments that the board has relative to the performance of the executive director, and that the chair of the governance committee, along with the chair of the IDA, Victoria, would meet with the executive director to conduct a typical performance evaluation that any of you would be familiar with from probably your line of work. And that would be conducted as part of an executive session, obviously. This deals with personnel matters. And then at the same time, at the end of the year, the board will then be asked to revise the goals, standards, performance measures that we would apply to subsequent fiscal year, beginning in this case, January 2023, and start the process all over again in terms of what's expected, executive director, and we would conduct a similar review at the end of 2023 and going forward. So what we are proposing today is really that we codify, or at least put down in writing, this process that we will be following during the course of the year, especially when we get December and January when we have a close of the fiscal year, and the process that we would expect board members to follow in doing their own analysis, their own evaluation of the executive director's performance. And they'd be required to submit to the governance committee within 30 days those results, that we would hopefully have an opportunity to meet with the executive director at the end of January or February to go with the evaluation and to lay out our expectations for the following year. So today, what we're just asking the board to do is approve a resolution that basically adopts this process, and so that we have some formal process for conducting a review that's well understood and well known by both the board and its members, as well as the executive director.
Are there any questions or discussions about this process? Absent any discussion, I'm happy to move the resolution.
So,
Is that a second?
a second?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor of the resolution authorizing the performance evaluation that Dave described? Any opposed or abstaining? Okay. Thank you. The resolution passes.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt your meeting.
We don't,
Excuse me.
No, just give me one
We-
second.
No,
no,
no.
So,
We are conducting our regular business. Please wait. Our next item of business is to complete the report of committees. And I want to mention the Finance Committee, in addition to making the recommendation to the full board, has agreed to appoint Dick Kotlow as chair of the Finance Committee. As chair of the agency overall, I am stepping away from also chairing the committee. And I am delighted that Dick, our treasurer, has stepped up to chair that committee. And I'm asking for full board approval in a motion to appoint Dick Kotlow chair of the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Thank you, Victor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ted. All in favor of appointing Dick to chair of the Finance Committee?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Great. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the chairship of the Finance Committee. We will be meeting fairly soon to begin our budget process. So I will remain on the committee and let Dick handle the leadership. So moving through the other items on our agenda. Item 5, a regular item, communications. We have none. Old business, given the time constraints that I know that we have this
we
morning,
sent you a
I'm going
packet
to
of
ask
information
for
yesterday
an update
of
on the Burt Crane
communications.
project, which has
sent a
come back to
package.
life.
that should
You're
Excuse
be
me,
on the record.
please wait.
it doesn't have to be on the record. You're disrupting a public meeting where there's no public hearing requirement. We don't take public comment. There was a
Don't
public,
take public-
no, we're not a town board meeting where we don't have to, and we never do historically. In addition to that, no. And in addition to that, we had a public hearing in October of last year on the project to which you're speaking. That's where the appropriate comments should have been had. We can't have our, regular meetings disrupted like
By
this.
the public. You can't have it in interrupted by the public.
Correct,
That's
Who are
correct.
the folks that you represent?
right, because there's no
Okay, I
official
just
public
wanted it on
comment
the
period.
record That you aren't allowing us to speak because publics who are invested in the project.
But that's not even on the agenda today,
I understand that.
so, no.
I understand that.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. As chair of the organization, I am going to ask you to sit down, and all members of the public are welcome at our meetings. As Kate has explained, we have a proper forum that we duly exercise for every project, whereby we do take public comments. We do not take public comments at our regular meetings. And as everyone here this morning and viewing, there is a great deal of ordinary business that this IDA undertakes in our service to the town. So what I'm going to do is table.
I'm going to have to just make the
No.
record here.
Excuse
This is
me,
yours?
excuse me.
I like the motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second for the motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second. All in favor of adjourning the meeting?
So, we're here today
This meeting is
to make sure
adjourned
that
at
they receive